Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of the HitchHiking Host Show. We are your ghost hosts, Wes
and Jenn.
And Jenn, you were over in Walt Disney World yesterday. She was posting on Facebook and sharing on Twitter some of the things she did. But for those who didn't see it, what did you do all?
Well, since it is fall, it's a great time to enjoy the low wait times and the low crowds, especially in every other park except Epcot. We'll get to that later. But we were able to go on some rides, like we went on Pirates, which was a walk-on. If you time it right, you can get walk-ons. We went on Pirates, Haunted Mansion, Little Mermaid. I think it's Ariel's Under the Sea. I don't know. I always butcher the name. And then we were able to go. On People Mover. Basically, our basic standbys within a short amount of time. So we enjoyed some of the low wait times. And we did meet Gaston, who is probably my new favorite guest interaction now. He's only out for a couple hours, and now I understand why. It takes forever to meet him. But if you're looking for a good guest interaction, or a character interaction, Gaston is the way to go as long as you time it right. And then we went over to Epcot to enjoy some of the food and wine, but we'll get to that later.
Yep, and I know you got to ride the Maelstrom.
Oh yes I did. Fortunately.
You'll probably go on that again though before it closes, I assume.
Yes. Yeah. If I get my way, I will be camped out there on October 5th.
That wasn't the final ride through for you.
No, it will not be. It will not be. It better not be. I'm still holding out hope that Disney's going to magically change their minds. And they're going to say, you know what? Let's just move it over to Hollywood Studios instead. So.
You never know.
A girl can dream. Girl can dream. We'll see. This week in the news. Just 1 week after the announcement of the unfortunate big Norway Pavilion changes, there are now rumors swirling that the Studio Backlot Tour and a few surrounding attractions at Disney's Hollywood Studios are closing for good. Cast members have been scheduled for only a few days in October, and there are no posted dates for the attractions past October. This includes the Monsters, Inc. Meet and Greet, the Honey I Shrunk the Kids Playset Adventure, the Studio Catering Company, the Coke Bottle Food Stand, and the High Octane Refreshments. When Wandering Open's Trading Post moved from Soundstage 1, we're told that area will be used as a third track for Toy Story Mania. The surrounding area is now rumored to be a Pixar Place expansion, which is likely to feature some of the rides from Toy Story Land in Disneyland Paris and Hong Kong Disney, such as Slinky Dog Zigzag Spin, RC Racer, and Toy Story Parachute. Because these rides take up a smaller amount of space, it's also been rumored possible Cars and Monster Inc. attractions could inhabit the rest of the space. The Studio's Backlot Tour, rumored last day, is September 27th, and the other attractions on October 11th. While there is no official word yet from Disney and nothing is set in stone, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks. Like, see if they add a Frozen ride there instead of Norway.
Well,
Backlot Tour is showing its age.
Yeah, the Backlot Tour, okay. Or as I call it, the Backlot More. We were talking about this before. The Backlot Tour used to be a must-go-on ride for me. Like, you know, it was a no-brainer. Oh, we'll do the Backlot Tour. When I was little and stuff, because it was cool back then, back in the 90s. Now it's just a pale comparison of what it used to be. I don't know if I mentioned it on this show yet, but I am not a fan at all of the Lights Motor Action stunt show. And that tour has turned into, here is a prop from the stunt show. Here's this from the stunt show. Here's a car from the stunt show. I'm like, I don't care. Show me some, and then we were saying like there's like a spaceship from My Favorite Martian from 1997. I'm like, I forgot that was a movie. And then and now it's a canned recording. You don't even get the person on board anymore. So like, if they add anything, you just bypass it. Like there was a ship from Star Wars. The last time I was there, and they didn't mention. I'm like, isn't that worth mentioning? I guess not. Isn't that like the best thing in this whole tour?
Talk to them.
But yeah, we'll talk about the Backlot Studio Tour more. But we have a show that we're gonna dedicate to it soon. But I definitely think the space is going to be used for better things now than the tour that's there now. What do you think, Jen?
I hope. I know I made the joke on Twitter, and I think I got in a little bit of trouble. That is going to be Arendelle.
Oh no!
The way, I honestly never thought they would take away Maelstrom, and put Frozen in there. But that's a whole nother story for another day. So at this point, I say it's anybody's guess what's going to go in there. I do think Lights, Motor, Action, I've seen the crowds leaving there. I know I haven't seen it in a while, because you've seen it once, you've seen it a bunch of times. But I do know there is still a sizable crowd coming in and out of the arena stands.
Yeah. Well, that's what was weird that wasn't on the list. I guess that'll just stay, unfortunately. But
it seems like it's still drawing that crowd too. I mean, Backlot Tour.
So no one go see that show, please. So we can have something better there.
Well, I think it has its own little niche, whatever, in the parks. So, I mean, the Backlot Tour, like you said, it was cool. And especially back when they're using the costuming buildings, and you could actually like see some of the stuff going on and like set design and everything else. And I know off of the show I made the comment, there's never anything going on in those buildings. So it's always kind of awkward walking by like little sewing machines that probably haven't been used in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I think they even admit like film production has moved from Hollywood Studios, and now it's all primarily done in California at the studios lot. So
yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, well, here's where they used to film stuff. So
exactly,
it's kind of a downer on your vacation, but I don't know. I won't be too sad to see that one go.
Yeah, I talked to someone and they said they would. I forget who it was, but they said they would have rather see it be a parking lot than the Backlot Tour. I'm like, wow. I like the Pixar Place expansion idea. I do. I think there's so much you could do with that. With all the Pixar stuff that's out there. Obviously, the obvious ones of the Toy Story rides, the Cars, the Monsters, Inc., those are all obvious no-brainer ideas because they have them other places. But, I mean, you could expand on that. You could do a Wall-E sort of thing. You could do an Up thing, a Brave. You could move the Brave meet and greet there. There's so much that you could do with that. And I think, hopefully, that's what they'll end up doing over there.
I know, I'm really sad to see the playground go. The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I love going in there. You don't go in there?
I went in there when I was 8. Once.
I went in there like 2 weeks ago.
It's kind of weird that Disney hasn't confirmed this, being that's next week already. But I guess in the next show we'll tell you for sure if it's closed.
The Seven Dwarves Mine Train has now joined the list of attractions on the PhotoPass and Memory Maker experience. With your Magic Band and linked Memory Maker, your photo and video will be automatically sent to your My Disney Experience account. You'll also be able to share and download the video and pictures with your family and friends connections that also experience the Mine Train.
I think that's a pretty neat idea. I of course, you know me, I tape the ride-throughs myself.
Ooh, we did that yesterday when we met Gaston. We used my friend's Magic Band. We thought that was cool. She told me that when she hit it, they used to have a little swipe for the PhotoPass cards. And now they have one of those RFID readers. And she said, she's like, oh, my band kind of vibrated a little bit when they added it to the Magic Band. So.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I know, yeah, there's some difficulties getting it because the guy said you had to access it from a computer, not from the actual app on the phone. So I think they're still working out the bugs, is what it seemed like to me. But I got my guest on picture, so I'm happy.
Yeah, but I think that it's a cool idea, because then you can get, like, the whole family or whoever's all in your party on the ride together, which you, like, if you, like, when I videotape it, you obviously don't see me and the ride, because you have to see one or the other. And surprisingly, I taped the ride and not me. So I think that's neat, and of course, the Seven Dwarves Mine Train is a good one to do, since it's brand new, so.
Yeah. I know back when they were talking about the whole, FastPass Plus and the RFID expansion, they mentioned stuff like this. And I remember reading it, and I was like, there's no way, that's crazy. Some of the technology is crazy. So now it doesn't seem so far-fetched from when they first announced it, so.
Right, yeah. Moving on to the other coasts, to Disneyland, there is now a more convenient way to meet Anna and Elsa at Disneyland by a virtual wait system, which allows you to experience other attractions while you wait. That is genius. I'll get more to that later. Guests visiting the Frozen meet and greet can now show their park ticket or annual passport to obtain a return time ticket. You'll then be assigned a 20-minute window to return later in the day to meet Anna and Elsa. There is no longer a standard queue line for the meet and greet. Also, Anna and Elsa's Boutique, which is coming to Downtown Disney District, will open on October 5th. Just throwing that out there.
That's a big day for Disney.
Yeah. The Anna and Elsa, much like it is at Disney World, Anna and Elsa meet and greet is crazy at Disneyland. I just booked it right there, and it was already a three and a half hour line the first day I went. Second day I tried, it was 4 hours, I think. And finally, the third day when I did get there, I literally did a death sprint through the castle, and I only had to wait like 20 minutes. But I was like all hot and sweaty then by the time I met him. I'm like, hey, ladies. I'm kind of jealous that that exists now and it didn't exist back in May. Because that is a really good, cool thing. Because if you're going, let's just say you have one day at Disneyland and your kid wants to meet Anna and Elsa, that's like the #1 thing on their list. They don't care if they do anything else. You're going to have to wait the 5 hours in line. By the time you get out of the line, it's like 2 o'clock and your day's like more than half done. So
Yeah.
it's wow, you know. So that's cool that you can go ride other rides. You don't have to worry about trampling each other. It's like the stampede from the Lion King through that castle, and now hopefully that'll work out well. It seems like that'll work out well. Now, of course, do be aware, once the meet and greet times are done, they're done. So there'll probably still be a rush to get to that place to make your reservation, but hopefully it'll be better. Also, in the Disneyland Resort, over in Disney's California Adventure, changes have come to the menu at Flo's V8 Cafe in Cars Land. You can now try barbecue pork ribs made with Coca-Cola barbecue sauce, served with mashed potatoes and crisp slaw, which replaces the pork loin, a new roast beef and cheddar sandwich, and a turkey dip sandwich as well. Coconut cream pie also joins the dessert menu, as well as Grand Am beer on tap to drink. When I was out in Cars Land, I didn't get a chance to eat at Flo's, but I did sneak in and take a few pictures. I don't know if that's frowned upon or not, but I took a picture of the menu and everything. So it seemed like a cool place. It just didn't, click with me for the menu and stuff, so I was just like, I'll eat somewhere else. I may try some of the new items on the menu. They sound pretty good, so,
Which ones would you try?
The barbecue pork ribs sound pretty good, with the barbecue sauce, and of course the, shaved roast beef. So if you've tried any of those, let us know how you like them. Also, out in Disneyland, a new sneak preview of the upcoming film Big Hero 6 is coming. Starting September 26th, which is next week, you'll be able to see the special preview with 4D special effects at the Magic Eye Theater, which of course is the home for Captain EO in Disneyland. Big Hero 6, of course, hits theaters November 7th. We've been seeing a lot of this previews in the parks. It's a good idea. There was the Maleficent one at Disneyland in the It's Tough to Be a Bug when I was out there. I didn't see it because it was going to be out like a week later, and we all know I'm a movie reviewer, so I'm going to see it anyway. So I thought, why not? Why am I wasting my time? So, but I would have wanted to go see the Guardians of the Galaxy one had that been out. But I don't understand why it's just in Disneyland and not Disney World. But it could be because of the special effects. Because if they show it in that used to be Sounds Dangerous theater, they don't have 3D effects in there, so that could be why. But anyway, if you're going to be in Disneyland, you can check that out. For this week's main discussion, we're going to be talking about something very fitting. It just opened once again this week, the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival.
Woohoo!
Jen, you were just there yesterday, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going down at the festival this year?
There's a lot of booths around Epcot. I will tell you now, expect lots of lines, expect lots of crowds. The World Showcase becomes exponentially crowded. What's funny is I did notice that on Saturday they kind of created road lines. They have double white lines of masking tape along the World Showcase to show you which side of the pathway to walk on.
Nice.
I thought it was funny because I've never seen it before, and I know it gets crowded. Because not only do you have the pavilions, imagine I think it's 30 some odd booths when you include merchandise and some of those specialized booths. So it gets crowded. But also, if you go to the Pavilion Center,
Wonders of Life.
If you go there, that's kind of like the hub of the food and wine. And you can have demonstrations. I know they have a Ghirardelli exhibition where they show kind of from the seed to the bar, I think is what it's called. And they show you how chocolate gets made. They had a chef there with a food tasting. And I know they offer a wine tasting. You can get your handy-dandy passport.
Is that like the handy-dandy notebook?
Yeah. And then yesterday, we also got free recipes from Robert Irvine. Because I guess he'll be there in a couple weeks.
That's cool.
They have a lot of Food Network stars. I don't know a lot of them, but I know a lot of them are on Food Network, so I'm sure they're a big deal.
I assume Gordon Ramsay won't be there.
No, I don't think he'll be there.
He could yell at me.
But I know there's also cookbooks, and that's where a lot of merchandise is. And the passport, or not the passport, they have gift cards, which are one of my biggest tips for the food festival. If you go and you know you want to spend maybe only $30, because you know each plate is anywhere from $3 to probably, I'm trying to think of the most expensive I know was probably $8 in Canada. So, say you want to spend $30, you go put it on your gift card, you just wear it around your wrist. That way, every booth, you're not trying to get out your credit card and holding up the line, because they're trying to be as efficient as possible with the lines.
Did you try anything yesterday?
I did. The one thing, and I will say, I didn't get to try as much as I liked because we just kind of wanted to sample yesterday. I know I went to Poland. My old standby is the kielbasa with potato pierogies. That is my favorite. I will get that no matter how many times they go to Food and Wine. But new this year to the Italy booth, and I won't even try to say it in Italian because I will butcher it, but it's a chicken marsala, and that was good. It was only, I think, $5.25. And you get a piece of chicken with a lot of scallops and mushrooms with the marsala sauce. Definitely recommend both.
Yes, there are 25 of the global marketplaces, and from Africa to Terra, there should be something that everyone can enjoy. Some of these new tastes that are new for this year, we've got the Lobster Alfredo at the Hops and Barley Marketplace, the Caramel Creme Brulee with Fleur de Sel at the French Marketplace, Patagonia's Verlasso Salmon, at the Farm Fresh Marketplace, the Yardbird, which is more commonly known as a chicken thigh, also at the Farm Fresh, the Florida Grass-Fed Beef Slider with a scoop of Kiki pimento cheese melting over the warm burger. Also, the escargot in France is now served with 3 snails in a pastry with lots of garlic, spinach, bacon, and parmesan. The Greece marketplace has added hearty vegetarian moussaka made with eggplant and potatoes and a bechamel sauce. I butchered that one. I did pretty well on the rest, though. The ensalada do caracho, which is a Caribbean conch salad with onion, tomato, and cilantro at the new Puerto Rico marketplace. Canada's sear rainbow trout with bacon, frisee, and maple -8 vinaigrette. And finally, the desserts and champagne marketplace has the new ads of passion fruit coconut creamsicle, blueberry lime cheesecake roll, and chocolate espresso opera cake. Why it's an opera cake, I don't know. Maybe it goes, oh, but I don't know if I'm going to try any of that. I'm definitely not trying the escargot. The escargot can escargot away. No, Dad. The creme brulee I have in my list of things later on. But other than that, I don't know. Jen, do you want to try any of the new stuff?
You know, I haven't even looked at the menus yet to decide what I do want to try. I know I'm kind of a picky eater, so I hate to say it, but I usually stick with my few standbys, my go-tos, which are the kielbasa and potato pierogi, and I know the Kahlua pork sliders from Hawaii. So we'll see. It all depends on the mood. I know all the booths smell really good, but I'm just too picky of an eater to try to be that adventurous.
And for, you know, $4, $5, $6 a serving, I would rather have something I know I like than something I may hate. And I'll be like, oh, that was a waste of $5. I should have just flushed it down the toilet.
Also, with the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, they have Late Night Live. It's 6 food and beverage items from select marketplaces. There's also musical performances, a form of entertainment, and a live DJ. It's $79 a person, which can be a little hard to swallow. But it's between the United Kingdom Pavilion and the World Showcase Plaza on Thursdays. And it goes from 9:45 p.m. to 1 a.m., which is interesting because I know Epcot usually doesn't like things to go past 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I guess if you really want to stay late, you can. I mean, I pretty much get everything done I need to and not pay $79, which is basically almost the park admission for a whole day. But you do get the 6 food and beverage items, so that's...
Yeah, if you're going to enjoy the beverages, it's probably worth it. You'd probably spend that much at the marketplace booths anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Also with the food and wine, they do have some experiences that do carry an extra charge. There's culinary demonstrations, which I touched on, that has some of the Food Network stars giving some demonstrations and some talks about their food and wine pairings, wine and beverage seminars, mixology seminars, cheese seminars. And I do know they range in price. I know when I was there yesterday, I couldn't tell you the name of the wine seminar they had, but I do know that was $15, and it was well sold out. So wow. There's something there for every taste, I guess.
From Africa to Tara, there's something for every taste.
From Alicia to Tara.
Yeah, your friends Alicia and Tara that everyone has.
Don't make fun of my friend.
There's also a new boot camp series, which... I don't know why you wouldn't pay to be in boot camp, but it's not what you think. It's intense training to step it up in the kitchen. Yeah, that's what I want to do when I go to Disney World. And Food for Thought, which is celebrity chefs giving their tips and bites from their cookbooks. That might be interesting. The Food for Thought. I don't think I'd want to do the boot camp series, but... I
think if you're a serious foodie, then you'd do that.
Yeah. But the Food for Thought sounds interesting. I'm not sure the price on those, but...
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I know you can walk by and kind of listen in, but I do know if you stand there and linger too much, they quickly usher you away. But
yeah,
my tip is just slowly stroll back and forth. You'll get the experience.
Also, they have the Eat to the Beat concert series from the Commodores and Air Supply to Hanson, who, of course, and Sugar Ray. There's something for everyone's musical taste. From Africa to Tara, there's something for everyone's musical taste. While I'm there in November, and Jen will be there for the last half, Boys to Men and David Cook will be there. I don't know if I'm going to see either one of those. And they're half-hour concerts, 3 times a night, so it's not like, you know, a big stadium of, like, a 10-hour show or something.
I can usually say the times, too. Because,
Yeah.
again, World Passport, which is your go-to guide.
Look at this. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. That's why anybody that tells me they're going to Food and Wine, if you guys are watching this and you're going for the first time, get a passport at the Festival Center. It will help you tremendously. It has the menus ahead of time, so you can kind of think about what you want, see what you want to save up for. And it has the full listing of the concert series. But it says they are daily from 5:30, 6:45, and 8 p.m. And they're in the American Pavilion. The American Garden Theater, there we go. I was looking for the official name.
Yeah, it's free with park admission. That's one of the things that actually is free about the Food and Wine Festival.
Woo!
So I'm sure they get crowded. Yeah, it is in the American Gardens Theater at the American Adventure.
Expect to wait in line, though. There's almost always a long line for all of them, especially some of the more popular acts.
This will actually be the first time I'm actually going to Epcot while the Food and Wine Festival is going on. It may have actually been going on when I was there the first time, but I was like 8, so I don't even know. I don't really remember. But this will be the and it was gonna go on like a day after I left last time in 2012. So this will be the first experience I actually have. So what I'm planning to try, one of my favorites from Le Cellier is the Canadian cheddar cheese soup. I gotta get a little bit of that, because since I'm not going to Le Cellier, I'll get a little taste of it for $4.25, that is. I wrote down these prices as well. The sea salt creme brulee from France is also $4.25. I think I'll try that. The Kahlua pork slider, which Jen said is very good, with sweet and sour Dole pineapple chutney and spicy mayo for $3.75.
I recommend that.
Yeah, and because I've never eaten in the Italy Pavilion, I would like to try the ravioli alla caprese for $6.
Nice pronunciation, too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so those are the ones that stick out. I may try more once I get there and see people walking around with stuff. I might be like, oh, that looks good, you know, so.
And that's usually what ends up happening. Or even if you walk past booths that you would never think you would eat at, you smell it and you're like, oh, I want to try that.
Right, yeah, so of course we'll let everyone know what we eat. Well, that's all the time we've got for this week. Jen, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at JenMia83. So follow me there, I'll follow you back, and we can talk Disney.
And you can ask her anything about the Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, I feel like a veteran.
Yeah. And also, you can follow our other host, Mandy, at Mandy Disney on Twitter. For me, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes A-List, and you can subscribe to me on YouTube, youtube.com/WestsideOf515 for all my movie reviews. For our hitchhiking host links, follow us on Twitter at HitchHostShow, and the ghost will follow you back. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/HitchHostShow. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/HitchHostShow. And I believe Jen was going to start up an Instagram for us soon.
We'll get there.
Yep. So look, Mandy's working on a Tumblr. You're working on an Instagram. We're gonna be everywhere soon.
Yeah.
If you give us a like, a subscription, a follow on any of those sites, it adds a tally to something I'm gonna have to do down in Disney World in November, and we're Jen teased that yesterday on Facebook. If everyone saw it, you can kind of guess what it is, but we're not gonna officially announce it yet. But it'll be interesting. We have a pretty nice number already, so
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So definitely hit us up on those. Until next time, don't forget to
Hurry back,
for our next episode. Bye.
Yeah.